listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene. Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Betas After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Betas After Show.
Hey there, Betas fans. We're here doing the season finale after show here on AfterBuzz TV.
Yeah.
Can't believe season 1 has finally come to an end. We here at AfterBuzz TV, we're such huge fans of the show, and we have a crazy stacked panel here to celebrate it with us. I'm Matt Lieberman. Joining me, of course, every single week is Mr. Patrick Dees.
What is up? I can't believe all these people that we have here.
I know, it's an embarrassment of riches.
It is. That's a way to put it.
Yeah, it is. It truly is. Let's introduce the panel. Starting to our left, we have Charlie Saxton.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome back.
Joe Dinicol is here for the first time.
Great to be here.
Yeah. No, it's your first time. Everyone else is coming back, but it's nice to have you finally.
I've been in the Canadas.
Yeah, whereabouts in the Canadas?
It's somewhere in the polar vortex. In
Toronto.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you unfroze and you came
I
here.
thought out and got down here.
Nice.
As soon as I could, yeah.
We also got Karan Soni.
What's up?
Yes.
Hi.
Evan Endicott's here.
Hello, good to be back.
Josh Stoddard.
In lieu of Dennis Quaid.
Yes. Yeah. And my Erskine.
Hello, guys.
Yeah.
Good to be back.
We want to give a shout out to Mr. John Daly. Unfortunately, could not join us here tonight. We miss him.
We love you, John.
Yeah.
Love you.
The best dog.
Yeah. No, but guys, thank you so much. Not just for being here, but for making just not an awesome first season, an awesome season finale. You guys crushed it. You absolutely crushed it. I'm not being hyperbolic. I just had so much fun watching it. I was like, yeah, man, yeah, by the end of it. I was just really excited.
I slow clapped at my television.
Yeah.
Yes. Well done.
200 million, asshole. Loved it.
The slow clap was the point of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could get just one slow rising clap from one person.
We spent so much of Jeff Bezos' money just for one slow clap.
Yeah.
He's got tons of it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Big fan of his, by the way. I don't know if you knew it.
He played this horrible prank on me. He made this very nice note from Jeff Bezos on Amazon.com stationery, and I bought it on the air.
Which I didn't realize till after the show that you bought it. I
was so excited. I knew you were lying, and then I
it.
saw it, and I was like, wow. He really doesn't know who I am. This is amazing. I'm making a difference.
You are.
It's not
kidding
true.
me?
Yeah.
Not to Bezos. But
Not to
you
Bezos.
are
I
to
mean,
a lot of people.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you, Josh. That's
That's what he does, just lifting spirits
Yeah.
every week.
That's right.
Love it.
In the name of Dennis.
Yeah. Dennis Quaid is your spirit animal.
He is.
And you are mine.
Thank you.
Wow.
So we've got the big story this week, obviously, is the big offer from Zack Casper, $15 million. We had thought originally to invest in BRB, but actually to acquire it and absorb it into Convene, which obviously it's a big decision to make. You know, you've been working towards this all this time, and now somebody kind of wants to. They say they want to work with you, but they're ultimately taking it from you.
Right.
And I mean, tell me about your process. You've been working on this show with all these guys for so long, and then it's coming to an end, kind of the same way that BRB was kind of coming to an end. How did you approach this episode? What's Trey's conflict here?
Well, the big conflict is that the offer is so unclear, and the desire to sort of buy into it as the best case scenario is so palpable for everyone, because they really want it to mean that he's just going to give us $15 million to do what we've been working towards. And the problem is that, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. So that's the sort of, is to not give in to the mania of, oh, now I'm a millionaire and everything's fine. And that's sort of, I think also as you come to the end of something that you think is really great, you start to want to believe it's the greatest thing in the world, and part of you has to go, okay, but this is just step one, and hopefully we'll get to do more of this, and to keep yourself in check with your excitement, I guess.
Yeah. What do the rest of you guys think? You get this script, wonderful script. Did you guys write this script?
Yes.
Yeah. You know, what were your thoughts as this season was kind of coming to an end?
Sadness.
Sad. Yeah, it was sad, but it was exciting because it was, it's definitely an interesting way to end the season. I feel like it wasn't too happy or wasn't too sad, but there are definitely some questions that need to be answered, I feel like.
Yeah. And yet it still felt like a self-contained season. Like,
we
could just be done with betas. No.
Hey.
I'm going to say this now. If there's not a season 2.
No, we couldn't.
If there's not a season 2, there is no God. I'm just saying. I take this seriously. But I'm just saying, like, it's refreshing when a season can be self-contained in and of itself and still have there be cliffhangers and unanswered questions.
Absolutely.
Well, I think also, like, what I felt watching it, which I didn't really get sort of reading it, is that when I read it, I was kind of like, oh, this kind of like wraps up. We all come together and make this decision. And when you watch it, you're much more aware of the fact that these guys have put themselves in really dangerous waters moving forward.
Oh, yeah.
Which was, I found a lot more palpable watching it when you're like, oh, yeah, they've come together, but they're going to be at each other's throats when things go awry the next day, probably.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is like it feels like the end of chapter 1. It doesn't feel like the end of a story, but it feels like, okay, we've hit this plateau. We've made a decision. We're committed to the company. We were given the opportunity to cash out and do something else. But no, we're all in. We gave up the money, and things are only going to get tougher from here. We now have an adversary, which is something we didn't have before, creating something new in a vacuum versus actively competing with the head of, or the face of social media. So Zack Casper, is he kind of like, in the betas world, Mark Zuckerberg obviously exists, but is he just sort of like your Zuckerberg?
Ish. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
No, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
I mean, that's how he reads. You know.
No, I mean that was intentional. So yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So obviously coming up against this guy, big deal, big acrimony. Should we get a season 2? God willing, kiss up to the stars. Jeff Bezos up there in the stars.
His place in the stars is really awesome.
Is it? Did you get to go after the premiere?
Deck on that place.
Yeah.
Gracious.
Yeah, no, the premiere after party was at his moon base.
Yeah, it was like Moonraker. It was great.
He calls it Xanadu.
Yeah, his butler is 7 foot tall, has metal teeth. Yeah. It's a Jaws reference.
That's a nice
followed.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, if the folks at home didn't see Moonraker, I didn't want them to be out in the cold, folks.
They don't want James Bond to be funny, and I don't care for that.
I support you, man. We get each other. We have similar opinions about Subway. We talked about before the show, and now feeling the same way about Moonraker. Respect.
He doesn't just throw that around lightly either. I've done a few shows with him at this point.
He's very
intense, right?
I've never given Patrick a single compliment.
Not one.
No, not one. He works so hard.
I'm hustling.
I feel so bad because Patrick does nothing but give me compliments.
You're a pro.
Oh,
I just show up.
Yeah. So obviously, you meet with Victoria, and you find out about this offer, and you go immediately to Nash, and you have this kind of like secret little meeting in the house, and obviously, you're super excited. Yeah. This money, like there's 5 of you. I don't know exactly how the percentages break down, but you're probably getting a little more than $3 million apiece. Mickey's getting a bit less because she joined at the last minute.
Right.
Girls gotta eat.
Okay,
but it's enough to eat for a while.
$1 million is enough. Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to look in the mirror and say $1 million is enough. Yeah.
Hobbs is probably getting nothing because he didn't read the contract.
Right. Yeah.
And Mickey, we didn't want to get bogged down in the details, but it gets a little ugly.
Yeah. So, I mean, tell me about sort of like Nash's perspective, because he's the very last holdout when everybody kind of, comes back around at the very end. Like, that's what I loved about that scene, is everybody kind of had their own reasons for coming back around and coming back on, Team BRB, but also your responses were very much of their characters. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, of course, Hobbs is a rebel, he's a rule breaker, and he's very impulsive. So of course he's going to be the first one to be like, nah, screw it, this guy's an a-hole. Let's you know, kick his ass. You know, and Mitchell's, I feel like, is very kind of like a little more nervous and diplomatic, and you know, Mickey's is just kind of like direct and blunt and to the point, you know, and strong. And then, you know, we come to you, and I really see the struggle there in his face. Like, what is the exact thing you think that, you know, kind of gets to be like, no, we do have something? I mean, he brings in your father. Is that kind of like, is that the moment, do you think?
Yeah, I think the way like Nash sees Zack Casper's character before that scene is that he's kind of his hero. Cause he's a huge celebrity, and Nash probably doesn't actually idolize like real celebrities, but it's probably that guy's like his, I don't know, his biggest like.
Andy, he paid you a compliment.
Yeah, he's Nash's Dennis Quaid.
Right.
So I think, and then that combined with the, I mean, I think it's just he can't even believe that he's meeting him. So I think he's so nervous and excited about that, but also the fact that his whole arc, part of it this season, has been to please his parents, and this is the first time they're seeing like real money. And it still goes, they can still keep working on like BRB, so the whole thing to him just seems like it's gonna solve all his problems. So I think he's definitely, he doesn't want this offer to go off the table at all. It's like everything they've been working towards until that meeting, and I think he finally sees like his true colors after he's kind of ripping apart all these people that he's gotten to like know and love over 11 episodes.
Casper was fantastic in that scene.
Like,
brutal with Hobbs. Like, I mean, instant. I like that he led with that Hobbs. You were a prodigy till they realized you weren't. Like, and that really sold that scene. It was awesome.
While munching on pesto.
Yeah. He just wouldn't shut up about the damn pesto pizza.
That's what pissed Nash off. He doesn't like pesto.
He's allergic to nuts.
He's allergic to nuts.
Well, pesto not made with pine nuts. Hold the phone. You can keep your cash.
I just thought it was a little rude that he said that Mitchell was living the freshman dorm experience and he was serving pizza at a board meeting.
Right.
These paper plates.
That's
wrong.
So fair, dude.
It bugged me a little bit about that.
But it's like one of those like weird details of these like super young billionaire CEOs who still like, you know, they haven't really graduated in that respect, you know. And
we had this whole backstory in our mind that he had like bought this local chain basically, so they could full-time service convene because it was, you know, his favorite place in Palo Alto, and like that's the kind of stuff you see is just that megalomania, but on this weird personal level.
Yeah. I can't think of it. The only specific example I can think of, and this is so not the example, is Patrick Dempsey buying Tully's coffee in Seattle, Washington, just because like he liked their coffee, so he just bought the whole chain.
Do you think Casper has a fragrance like Patrick Dempsey?
Whoa, hold the phone. There's a fragrance?
Yeah.
You're just blowing my mind right now. This is
yeah.
Yeah, if you want to smell like Patrick Dempsey, you can go down to your local Macy's and make it happen.
Who doesn't?
Free plug.
Is it called Patrick?
How does one find out if they want to smell like that? How that becomes a thing in someone's mind. Do they pass them on the grove or something? And they're like, wow, that's
no, man. It's
like hot cocoa and
love Wi-Fi.
Mahogany and decisions.
Yeah, you know. I'm imagining the Zack Casper cologne. I hope that comes in some point in season 2. That's funny. I mean, there's Star Trek cologne. Why wouldn't he make his own? Yeah. Hoodie by Zack Casper. Yeah. Smell like an unwashed hoodie that's been on a dorm room floor. That natty light smell.
Natty light.
Yeah. Let's see what else. I honestly kind of want to know, coming to the end of the season, having this whole journey together, like what was like your favorite sort of like defining experience? Like just talking to the cast here, like can you remember specifically like what's your favorite thing that you did this season? Like, you know, we're talking about this episode, but we're also talking about the season at large. You know, it's not often that we get to have the whole cast here.
I don't know.
The Woods episode was like our most favorite and least favorite experience at the same time, because it was totally like we were out there in nature, in the wild, and it was hot and sweaty, and we were all miserable for various reasons, and it was just a very uncomfortable experience. But then at the same time, I kind of just felt like, I don't know, it was the first time we were out of the sound stages for more than, you know, a day or two shooting, and we kind of just had to band together as brothers.
Well, also, like, at the beginning of the episode, the Murch takes our phones away, and none of our phones worked in the woods, so it was, it was one of the closest we got to being, like, in a sort of similar situation, so we actually had to, like, talk to each other.
But you also had to eat that lukewarm quesadilla that had been cooked
I
hours
did.
earlier.
They did not. I did. And let me tell you, that was at, what, like 2:30 in the morning? It was the end of, like, a 15-hour day, the last day that we were in the woods, so we were all ready to get the heck out of there. And the Chili's had closed, like, 2 hours before we started filming, so they were, like, pre-cooked quesadillas that... They were reheated, but it was like 3/4 of a fake one that just sat there, and then one triangle of a cooked quesadilla that I have to munch on. And my line was like, "This is the most delicious thing I've ever eaten." But I was so tired and just so sick from just everything that, like, I had a bucket here, so I would go, "This is the tastiest thing I've ever eaten," and then I would like, and then I would like look at Joe, and then we would keep going.
I think anything where we got to all be together, because at the the beginning of the show we have all this stuff all together, and then everyone sort of splinters off into their own storylines and whatnot. And every once in a while, demo day and the founders video in the second episode, like all that kind of stuff where we got to be in the studio all together playing and playing off each other. Anything in Barduke, and where we got to have. We would kind of remember how well we all worked together. Even though we hadn't done stuff for a while, we play off each other, and everyone just sort of sinks into that dynamic so easily. So that was, I think...
Yeah, those were the most fun things for us to write, too. And we realized with the Woods episode, if we could have just kept them there, so we could have, like, the whole gang, plus Mikki, of course.
Of
course.
That would have been amazing.
There was something missing.
We always had to split them up.
Well, I mean, they're all having their own stories, and we saw some stories get some resolution this week. We saw the Mitch Mickey romance. Mitchy, you stepped up in
like,
big
man.
He's grown up.
I know. I was just sitting there like, get it, Mitch, look at you.
Thanks, guys.
I was so proud. So proud of a fictional character.
With the sexy sax guy,
Sexy
right?
sax guy.
Sergio Flores.
Unbelievable get.
That was huge.
How did that come about?
I mean, we had this idea of a Dane's Gallery show being like a meme.
So excited that came back, by the way.
Yeah. So we wanted to bring that back, and so we started sort of early trying to reach out to people.
Keyboard Cat was unavailable.
Keyboard Cat was unavailable.
We got Tay Zonde for a photo.
We did get him for a photo. We wanted him for the episode.
Right.
We were in negotiations, but there was some weird stipulations, and we were like, let's just...
He had a complicated writer.
Yeah.
Wow.
He did.
Really? What odd things were in his writer?
He's just very a lot of content approval,
Yes.
Things have to be sort of PG.
Okay.
They said, like, in keeping with his sort of image and his brand, and I wasn't sure what his brand was.
Right.
Beyond Chocolate Rain.
Like,
well, no, he did that cherry chocolate rain for the cherry chocolate Dr. Pepper commercial.
So his brand was we didn't pay enough.
Right.
The knowledge is impressive here.
Yeah.
But Saxman was... Honestly, we approached him right away because we knew we wanted him in it, and he was awesome, hilarious,
Yeah, he was.
super fun to work with.
Totally.
Nicest guy ever, and can really, really play that sax.
Yeah, he really can.
He was serenading the whole crew literally all day.
All day.
Awesome.
Like, in between takes, we would just be sitting there just going, what sexy sex?
Okay.
Was he just in character all day?
Yeah.
I love it.
That's
And
so
the abs
funny.
are real. So
Super real.
I had a question too about the gallery. So, Evan, I had a question. So this might have been, and if I'm correct in this is my favorite Easter egg of the show the entire time. Were you the man behind the words with friends?
I was indeed.
Yeah!
A lot of the writers were the
in
meme
it.
portraits.
Yeah.
Allison Bennett was the prison guard. Andrew, Aaron Hilliard was
The Indian.
the Indian.
Crying Indian.
Okay.
And
Matt
Patterson
yeah,
was in a photo that you don't really get to see, unfortunately, because it was amazing. It was almost like a Blue Velvet remake. He plays
Oh,
David
cool.
after Dennis, but in a like debauched. He's
He's got a nitrous tank. And like,
there's a woman in a
funny.
velvet dress,
great.
leaning against him. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
So.
That's awesome.
Shout out.
Yeah.
No, it took me 2 viewings to understand the words with friends one.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's so smart. And then of course, Brenda actually shows up, and Hobbs is put in a pickle. And can we just talk for a moment of just how lovely that photo is?
Can I backtrack
John
and
Dill?
ask a question?
Yeah.
Whose idea was it to correct the Itzhakaya Sose thing? How did that?
Hers,
Yeah.
because I said it
I may
incorrectly.
be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Sozai, so I was like, I'm just gonna say
Yeah, that was great. 'Cause that wasn't in the
awesome.
script. I just made that little moment so real.
It was really
Yeah,
good.
yeah, it did.
Thanks.
I love that.
Yeah. Was Izakaya Soze? It sounds a lot like Kaiser Soze. Was that the point?
No, it's a real place.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it was their idea.
I thought it was another fun nerdy reference. I was wrong. I overestimated. No, it's wrong.
Yeah, that
We
was,
live to disappoint.
really.
The Hobbs portrait was so much fun to watch being shot.
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah.
incredible.
Really?
It was just, it was just him in like a freaking dance belt and like
The fitness ball.
fitness
you know.
ball, and like it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous on every possible level, and yeah.
And then watching Art like airbrush out the very sheer cloth that covered his corner
Yeah.
parts and try to just really make that work was awesome.
And like
If you can't, if you're at home and you didn't just see the face that Karan made for missing out, it was beautiful.
I'm just wondering what happened to those paintings.
they're in storage.
They're
We
Yeah.
wanted them so
Great.
bad for,
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
our,
like-
our apartments.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They will be in the production offices for season 2, I think.
Oh,
They'll
great.
be-
Fantastic.
they'll be-
Awesome.
I was glad it made an appearance in such a prominent one, the Hobbs one, because I mean at this point we didn't see, it was a whole episode where he didn't actually take his shirt off, and so the
Right.
drinking game would have been incomplete, and
Right.
so I
Yeah.
felt like you
You're
got it
feeling
in
deprived.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a lot of Hobbs taking his shirt off. though.
Every
Taking
episode we've been
his
playing a drinking
all
game.
clothes
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Not just shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I just want to take a quick second, as I always do, and talk to the folks at home about iTunes. People, thank you so much for downloading this podcast. We really appreciate it. AfterBuzz TV is the best fans in the entire world. I mean that. I mean that. I mean that. I do enough shows to certainly know. And the fact is, we love this show. We love Betas. It's why we worked so hard to make sure that you get the best possible Betas fan experience, to get the most in-depth experience you possibly can. I don't think I've ever heard of an AfterBuzz TV show where we had the creators on every episode, and we had the full cast come in. It's really been a huge group effort, and I want to thank everyone here at AfterBuzz for doing it, and thank all of you for downloading it all season long. It means the world to us. What can you do for us now that this season is over? Well, I'll tell you. We here at AfterBuzz, we love Betas. We want more people to see it. It's a crime how few of my friends I know who have seen it. I tell them to watch it. They're like, I don't have Amazon Prime. Well, here's the thing. You can get a free month of Amazon Prime. You go to Amazon.com/free month. You get a free month of Amazon Prime. It doesn't even take a month to watch this whole thing, because I guarantee you're just going to shotgun the whole series in a day. So tell your friends, if they haven't seen it, go ahead and do it. Get the free month of Amazon Prime. You get this show, you get Alpha House, you get a whole bunch of great shows and movies, and you get free 2-day shipping on all your purchases. You can stock up now for next Christmas, for all the birthdays. You got Valentine's Day coming up. Maybe you want to get, a nice ring or something. You don't want to shop in person. Hey, you can get it 2 days from now. You messed up? Hey, you messed up, you insulted someone, you ran over their dog, you need some kind of gift. Hey man, you can get it 2 days from now, or you can pay $3.99 and you get same-day shipping. I've never heard of such a bargain. Fact is, people, get out there, tell a friend, tell 2, tell 3, get the Amazon Prime free month, tell them to watch Betas, give them your account if you're feeling trusting. We want eyeballs on this show. Yep. It is up to us to make sure that it gets a season 2. That's my plea.
Boom! Yes. And you said it couldn't be done better. Every week it just keeps getting better and better.
I just want to do a show where we just have you compliment people. You're so earnest.
They've been here. Evan and Josh have been for every show, and I think you would agree, right? It just keeps getting, the bar just is impossibly high.
That was like Great Balls of Fire.
Really?
Dennis Quaid. Yes. That was, yeah.
And also, whose dog did you run over?
I've yet to run over a dog, but should I ever run over a dog, I know where to go for all my shopping needs. And now they have that Amazon add-on, so I'll get some blueberry coffee K-cups for a little bit cheaper as an add-on. Yeah, it's only $8. Only $8 if you buy enough stuff to make it worthwhile.
Hell of a deal.
Yeah. If you haven't had blueberry coffee, it's the weirdest, best thing. It's so dumb.
It sounds weird.
It's so artificial. It sounds terrible. I'm addicted helplessly. Yeah.
Right. It's better than Go Girl.
Yeah. Go Girl energy drink. We're not gonna bash Go Girl. We're not gonna love Go Girl. Anyway.
Well, because it's delicious.
Because it's delicious, right? It tastes like strawberry. It's carbonated. Why not?
Refreshing.
Yeah. Anyway, I was really pleased to see Trey and the Murch get back together and bond.
Yeah, it was
you
great.
know, although it's like really sad to see him drinking alone, not even like at home in his like the accelerator with where all the 20-somethings hang out.
Well, we have to see him get drunk. He did something. Was it in the pilot? At the end of the pilot, where
The second episode.
Episode 2, where we were at this party at the end of the episode, and he's got a glass of wine, and I literally watched him make the decision to play it kind of drunk.
Yeah.
And it was genius.
It was so good.
So I feel like there was probably a lot of like, can we get him to just, if we just put a drink in his hand, he's just gonna go, all right. And he's so good at playing drunk because it's not sloppy, and he's quite earnest and lovely, and it breaks his guard down a little bit. And so the more we can see Ed Begley Jr. play drunk on television, I'm all for it.
The better.
Yeah.
Did he tell you his thought process on that? Like, he was in the background of the party with the tequila girls.
Yeah.
And he was doing shots in the background, and he thought, if anybody ever saw me do that, they would know that I was intoxicated. And so that's how he threaded it through. And I don't think anybody ever saw him in the background ever doing shots.
No idea.
And it just, that was magic.
Tequila girl.
I gotta go back and watch it now.
Yeah. Crowdsourced tequila. It's such a weird idea.
I wish we had cut away to that too, because they have bandoliers with shot glasses.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
great.
Fantastic.
That's so cool. Was there somewhere? Was that like was that an art department creation, or did you buy that?
Yes.
It was
Oh,
art
okay.
department.
All right. Because that
All
would be.
costume and art.
All right.
We had
Well.
the best people.
Best in the game.
Yeah.
Literally.
Well, I mean, Joe, you spent a lot of time, or at least the most time, with EBJ over the course of this season. Like, did he give you any good advice on on acting or like career stuff, or just any memories working with him?
He told me to stay away from the booze in the 70s. I don't know what that means. He ran into some issues, came out the other side of it. No, he's like the most self-effacing, like, well, that's, even that story about him figuring that stuff out in the background. Like, he doesn't sort of discern because he's in the background that it's not important. Like, he's the most team player actor you'll ever meet. So just by virtue of the way he carries himself, you're like, oh yeah, I shouldn't become precious and prima donnish just because things are going well. He treats it like a real job that matters, and no one's lesser than he is, and he leads by example, and he's kind of like the nicest person in the business.
Sure.
I mean, certainly that I've ever run into. It's kind of amazing at how good of a person he is.
He seems like a gem.
He is.
Yeah.
Truly is.
Yeah.
Gives great environmental friendly advice.
That's true. Okay. Didn't he have some environmentally friendly reality show for a hot minute?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But he's got a new one.
The new one about his new house.
They're building like a next level,
in the world. Or
oh my gosh.
That he's building right now. Like, you use no electricity, and it's all like he grows his own food.
I think it's a bouncy castle. He just bounces around.
Next to Bezos on the moon.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no generator. It's solar powered. It's still a bouncy house.
Oh, wow.
And he wrote a TV movie based on the songs of Steely Dan. So
He did.
What?
He did.
How is he not?
What is the plot of
just
this movie?
Blowing my
Wait,
mind.
was this produced?
No.
Oh, okay.
He went pretty far down the road to get it that way, but
Yeah, when we had him, we put the Steely Dan reference in one of those early speeches, I think in that episode of the party.
Yeah.
And he was super excited. He was like, "Did you guys know when you did?" And we're like, "What are you talking about?" And it turned out he had just been like an obsessive Steely Dan fan, and he wrote a series of episodes based on something called a jukebox show. He said used to exist, where you'd take songs and each title would sort of dictate the content of an episode. And I think he did
kind of like what you did with this
entire
show.
Can't Buy a Thrill, album or something. And I was like, "You're the greatest."
Yeah, he's the man. Just going back really quickly to bouncy castles. I don't know if you guys ever did this, but did you ever think about, okay, if I was like a crazy billionaire and I had my dream house, what's the one ridiculous room that you would have? And I was just like, I want a room in my house that is just a bouncy floor room, just there's a 2-foot gap between the door or between the floor and then the bouncy floor, and you just push people in and then they bounce.
All right.
I don't know.
My room
adults call that a cuddle puddle.
A cuddle puddle.
Which gets weird.
That does get
You
weird.
push adults into a room of all cushions. I think
it's not cushions though. It's bounce or like a pantry with a bouncy floor, so you can bounce up to the high shelves.
I put a lot of thought into this.
I mean, I think I thought of this when I was 6, but I'm still committed to the plan.
I wanted an anti-gravity room. I know,
Anti-gravity
science
room?
and all of that, but like I want to walk into a room just 0G, just like that.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I want a bowling alley.
Yeah.
Nice. Bowling alley's rad.
Just one lane.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It starts with 1 lane.
Yeah.
Friends come over.
Before you know it, you've got like the ball shagger. Like, what is that? That's the dirtiest sounding thing.
That's leave it at that.
I want a ball shagger.
Don't explain it. Just don't.
That's your new nickname.
My name?
Yeah.
Have you seen that high roller suite
shagger.
over at the Palms?
No.
So they've got 2 bowling alleys in the room, and so there's the bedroom.
Why
on each
have
side,
you
and then
seen the high roller suite over at the
I was there at a
Palms?
CES party one year, and I may or may not have been a little inebriated and slid down at first the shirt on a dare. Just it might have happened.
Okay.
I'm not gonna confirm or deny.
I
So
feel
it totally
like
happened.
I feel like
Wrecked the shirt, just all of the bowling alley grease. Just yeah, but I won the bet. I mean, it's.
How much was the bet?
I was like, $10, totally not worth the cost of the shirt. But
then you got to pay for the suite, which was significantly more.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I want to go back to the Mitch and Mickey storyline. So you have this whole big speech, and you go in for the kill, and you plant one on her, I had been kind of asking the question all season of like whether or not Mikki was attracted to Mitch. She kind of came right out and said it in this episode, but still she lets him go. She thinks she's not good enough for him. What's up with that?
Yeah, what is with that?
What is your problem?
I know. Come on.
She's so
Look at him.
horrible. No. I mean, I think she's just not ready for the Mitch stitch yet. But I think, I mean, I love the scene like after when he meets his. Actually, I hate it, but
that was a good day. That was a fun day of shooting.
Yeah, she was great, but it was also hard to watch. Mitchell find a fellow Battlestar freak because I actually am a fan of Battlestar Galactica.
And the episode choices, the episode choices were the episodes I would have totally chosen. I was like, that's so rad. Yeah, 33. It just doesn't let up. It sets up the whole series. It's perfect. And then Crossroads Part 2, and you got the friggin' all along the Watchtower at the very end. And it's so rad. And you got the big space battle. I mean, how can you not? Anyway,
I wonder why the show's custom built for us. Now I have a question. So you're playing a video game. You're a master with Sauron. Was that Primal Rage?
No, I think was it Primal Rage?
Awesome.
Wow.
It is my jam.
That's the only one that works in the studio.
Is that right?
There's a hockey game with big heads, but I don't know if that one actually works.
Girls.
Oh yeah, the
Karan's just shaking his head.
Well, for legal reasons, let's say it was called Dino
Battle.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's Yellow Suited Man in the Land of No Danger, but that's up on a screen that we can't play.
In Bar Dukin, there's like TV screens all around the bar, but they have like loops of like these 8-bit video games that aren't real video games.
Right,
Like, made over the shirt. But so our favorite one, like when we're just like trying to like pass the time in between takes or whatever, is I can't remember the name.
Yellow Suited Man in the Land of No Danger. It's sort of like a Mario sort of ripoff. It's this guy walking on like flat plains. There's no bad guys. There's no falling. He just once in a while gets a diamond. Nothing bad happens.
He just jumps up and down from like platform, but there's like no treasure.
Oh, watch out! Oh, he's okay.
I'm so curious if this is a real thing. If this is like a real game.
I think it's the. I think
the art department.
I think they
did a lot of
things
stuff.
up for
Okay.
clearance purposes.
Yeah.
Okay. That is neat, though.
And then there's a racing game where nothing, like, it's just like so safe, where it's like so
dodging mild traffic.
Turning the turn signal on.
You drop the kids off at school. You decide to go to Neiman's to return some boots. It's all very humdrum. Yeah. If you go over 35. You die. You go over. You have to go under 35.
Warning.
Oh, you just get a warning.
Yeah.
How many warnings do you get?
Warnings.
Unlimited warnings.
It's weird.
It's on super easy mode. Oh man.
Were you guys disappointed by that? I'm curious. What did you want to happen between?
Oh yeah,
that's a good question.
I was kind of happy with it. I feel like. I mean. I feel like it's a good way to take it for now. She's bummed on us.
Explain what your face is doing.
It was so funny. At like every table read, we would get done reading the episode, and everyone would always feel bad for me, and then just kind of look at Maya and be like,
I know.
and Maya would just be like, I don't like it. I feel terrible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I personally, I loved that scene where you met this other girl, and like just seeing Mitch start to evolve. He's coming into his own. He's a developer of an app that people actually use. Like realizing that he's not just some kid. He's got some cred.
He got some things.
Right.
I loved the touch where you bump your phones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you get bonus points for that? I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, because it helps the algorithm.
How baller did you feel at that moment? Yeah, I'm a developer.
Yeah.
Happy. There you go.
Boom.
Yeah, definitely a pivotal moment for Mitch.
Definitely.
But it was a bittersweet moment because when I look back, I think it's upsetting, but then I'm like, no, you go and be Mitch. You have, fall in love with someone, but...
Well, if you think about it, you hacked the app in order to make you guys more compapable. So you guys probably
So we weren't really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the algorithm is, working as well.
But neither were Nash and I.
That's right.
That's
There we go.
Well, this brings in some big questions.
Very big
Yeah.
ones.
As we discussed on acid.
Well, I mean, but at the same time, they aren't necessarily the most compatible. They're compatible because of their experience, and we see the clash happen yet again when Nash accuses Trey of, it's all about the ego, that he won't let it go. I mean, BRB, yeah, hopefully it'll change the world, and it's your first like real baby, but couldn't you just take the $3 million and then make another baby, come up with another idea?
But I think that's what's cool about the finale is that part of it, which is a little bit about ego, but it's also his self-confidence, which I think is what's cool about the finale, is that they're all like, oh yeah, we should all have a little bit of that, taking pride in this thing and thinking that it's worth more than just selling it, or worth more than just money, that there's something more to it, that ownership of something that you've created is. And so I think that's when they kind of all start to understand each other, that they're like, oh, it's not just ego to take pride in something, it's
confidence, vision.
I love that message.
That feeds directly into that moment that Mitchell has when he stands up in the boardroom. I think it's remembering that girl coming up to him and how excited she was about BRB and realizing, wait a minute, we have something really cool that people that want. That means something. We should actually hold on to it.
And I kind of loved how Trey ends it, right? When he says, guys, like when word gets out that we walked away from this deal, I mean, we're going to be the hot shit on campus, or whatever that phrase you want to throw out. That's not a thing that anybody says. But I thought that was really rad, and like an actual visionary. It was well written, because I've been in deals that have gone tremendously south, and nobody was that optimistic post facto. God, that just sucked. We were that close. And so anyway, I kind of loved that moment as everybody's walking away, and the music throughout the season was fantastic. But I got skills as all of you guys are walking out was just one of my favorite moments. Again, it was just a slow clap.
I may or may not have sang that in the shower today.
I may or may not have fought so hard against that song.
He did.
Really?
But I came around.
He came around.
Wisdom prevailed.
It was a big moment of growth for you.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy. We both fought it.
Every episode that happened.
There was pesto pizza in that meeting.
What did you want?
What did you want, Evan?
You know what?
Kesha?
we had some options.
We talk about Kesha so much on this show, it's ridiculous.
No, we don't talk about Kesha nearly enough.
You know what was interesting? We would get to the mix, right? And
Yeah.
you've got a bunch of people there who haven't ever seen it.
Yeah.
And then you still have options in terms of sound or score or whatever. And there was another cue in this episode that we fought tooth and nail against. I won't say which one. But when the sound mixer, we were all kind of weighing in on it, and he was like, when I mixed this episode and I watched this scene, I cried. And it was like, okay. I mean, we're so close to it. It can just be very, very hard to kind of know how it's going to register with other people.
Yeah.
And everybody kind of weighed in that wasn't us and said, this worked. And we're like, all right,
Yeah.
Yeah, rad. I just want to go back and say I loved when Mitch stood up and there was like, are we all no, we're not standing. Back down.
So funny.
Thank you.
It was so beautifully Mitch. So
we had to take some of the heavy out of that scene too.
Yeah. It's it's intense. It's a bitter pill, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know he's rich as Sid, and he can do his research, but it's almost kind of stalkery how much Zack Casper knows about all of them. Jesus. He knows where you live. Like he knows that you live on like in the freshman dorm experience. Like what is that? I mean, I know he's spending $15 million, but what was the point? To suss out whether or not they were a threat?
I think he was the topless girl at the cat burning party.
Yeah.
It's like Tony Clifton.
He was the Indian the whole time.
Yeah.
He's been there since.
He was riffraff.
Episode 2.
The gallery owner.
He was riffraff the whole time.
Yeah. Which is boom. That's the only that kind of insight you only get on this show.
Yeah.
It's true.
Jinkies.
Yeah. But I like to think about somebody like that who's making a deal of this nature. I think they would do that research more to know how to manipulate the people they're trying to take over, right? So what is the right number? What's going to convince them? What do I have to do? And like, how little can I spend? And you know, that was just really fun to play
What
with.
do I need to appeal to
Yeah,
him?
he knew how to talk to Trey. He knew how to talk to Nash. And
no, he was very tactical.
Yeah.
He knew how to break them all down and reveal their insecurities, but it backfired. I love the scene, Joe, where you and Madeline are walking through the park and you're asking her for help, and she's like, "So does this mean that we're an item, Lois and Clark style?" And you say no. So rude.
So mean.
Yep, it was good though.
Yeah, it was good.
It was really good.
Captain doesn't pick up on signals.
we had him responding, and somebody's note was he should just not say anything.
Keep on going.
And, they were like, "That's so much more brutal."
It was so
like,
real.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
It's rough.
It's just sad.
It kind of takes away all the like weird, crazy red light things that Jordan did throughout the entire season and humanizes her really well.
Yeah. You feel really like sympathetic toward her in that moment.
Yeah.
Right. She really likes him, and she does.
I know, but guys, the app. Guys.
He's got a
That was
one-track
a
mind.
little inside joke he used to have on set. Because you know, it's like we're all the kooky characters, and you know, Joe's always like, "Guys, the app." But guys, come on, the app.
Seriously, we could change the world. Yeah. So John Daly obviously is not here, but he's made a lot of contributions to the show over the course of the season. What can you guys remember from set that like particularly made you laugh, or like your favorite thing from the show?
My favorite John Daly line that I don't think it's not in the show. It's at the end of the Woods episode. We come up and we find the Chili's.
Yeah.
And he ad-libbed this line where he's like, "Man, this place makes Applebee's look like Bennigan's." That's like my favorite John Daly line.
So good.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's
that was
so funny.
that was really good.
What else?
I
Karan?
laughed the most with the scene with him. I mean, I laughed all the time, but the scene with him and you when he's like, "You know, we walked down 2 different directions, and I walked this." I mean, it was
And
just.
I had to keep a straight face.
It was so good.
That was good. That was really funny.
Some roads are a little less straight.
Right.
It's got some curves. Yeah, he was fantastic.
I liked episode 2 in Bardukan when he's when you asked like, "How'd you get that in there?"
That's
not
not
an outside beverage.
That's my favorite line of the entire
That's a
season.
Daily ad-lib.
I loved that one, and in this episode when he fired back, like, "I don't like your face, garbage pail adult." Like I have now said that like 3 times since I watched that
those two
episode.
guys together
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was a P.W. Hauser original line.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, he's
that guy's fun.
Also, I really liked his shout out to Michael Lehman with his airheads.
Yes.
I was
Yep.
like, great.
And when we shot that,
Zardoz.
he did a different A and Z movie every take.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a real force. That
He's
guy.
great.
He's
Wow.
hilarious.
That's rad.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was a find.
Yeah.
he truly was.
We kept referring to that when he'd recount what he caught Hobbs doing, like his monologue. We kept calling it the Deshaunalogue.
So excited to write that.
Yeah.
Just talking into some
Oh, yeah.
World of Warcraft type. Like,
Some girl on it. Yeah. So what did you do, Slam? Yeah. Oh, and poor Trevor. I love Trevor just in darkness in the background, seething.
Yeah.
and I do love that he led with a slap. He didn't punch him. He just runs up to Daly and just open fisted smacks him.
Bam! Right
Not
across
my
the
dad.
face. Yeah.
I think my favorite Daily moment wasn't on film. It was while we were doing the test for the pilot. It was just like me and him and we I forget what scene it was, but at the end of it, we just hugged each other.
I witnessed that.
We totally just hugged, for whatever reason it was, we just hugged, and they were just hold that real quick, and then Alyssa Weisberg, the casting director, took a screenshot of it, and it was blown up and put in the production office during the pilot. Yeah, I don't know.
That's nice.
Yeah,
that's a nice story, Charlie. It's real nice. Oh, Charlie.
Well, so not being an actor or an aspiring actor or anything, being the thought of being on set's kind of foreign to me. But so in companies, I'm very much a practical joker. Especially when you've got a chemistry like you guys seem to have in real life. I mean, just even before we shot, everybody's excited to see each other, big hugs. It's the families getting back together. Were there a lot of practical jokes on set? Anybody really screw with anybody else? Not so much.
No.
You guys are boring.
They're so sweet.
Sweet Charlie.
Well, I like Charlie. Sweet Charlie.
Yeah, I couldn't handle any pranks.
You're a very sensitive guy.
We're just nice to each other. There was a time the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders came on set because our head of makeup works with them as an image consultant. And so I walk into the hall and there's all the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. So I take a picture and I immediately pull my phone out. Charlie's in his dressing room. I'm like, Charlie, get over here. You need to be here.
It was like we were shooting the second episode. So it was good friend.
Yeah. I know I can depend on it. You guys are nice. I one time took a guy's whole office and then set it back up in the men's restroom downstairs. I mean, we plugged in the power and everything. He came in and he was really angry. So we had one of our team run up and take a picture of him as he was seeing his office set up. And he's really angry. And he said in the video, it's not appropriate. So I took that picture and we put it on it wasn't. But
not appropriate.
I was not going to let it die there. We actually put it on T-shirts, and so 2 weeks later, the whole office showed up in a "It's Not Appropriate" T-shirt with his face on it. So we just went home. To which the only person that enjoyed messing with this guy more than me was his wife. So his wife showed up and answered the door with "It's not appropriate." See, I just wouldn't fit in on set. It's rough. It's rough.
I'm sorry. I'm just imagining the wife. That's so funny. So now, out of context, that's a weird. Just imagining the life.
It's hard because it's really only the actors who have any kind of downtime. So I think if you have an idea to pull a practical joke, there's always someone who's super busy. Who's
sure.
Cool, man, but so much to do, man.
We're really trying
for you guys to look cool on television. So hilarious. Get back to work.
My favorite moments always were the ad-libs you guys would do at the beginning and ends of scenes. They always cracked me up, and we always tried to replicate them sort of on the page, and we never could do it. And what we ended up doing was we just leave things so that you guys could do that at the beginning. I remember in this, that whole thing where Dane is talking about being the Grand Wizard.
Oh yeah.
And you guys, and he riffed that thing about J.R. Tolkien thing. And you guys are not unless he's racist. It was just really funny because it was so.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it felt so natural, and there was a thing where you guys coming in. I think you're coming into Bardukan, and I hear John Daly say something about gynecology is porn, and you guys are talking about Pomeranians.
Oh yeah, we were talking about what we would do with the money.
Yeah. Right.
But I don't think we got that part of it. It just cut in on us going well, it's a pretty small dog. It's sort of like a teacup dog.
We were talking about what we would do with the money, and Mitchell said that he would buy a corgi farm or something.
right, it's corgis.
Corgis are so effing adorable.
They are.
I just hate them. They're so cute.
I'm
allergic.
So bad.
I'm allergic. I want one so bad. I want a corgi. I'm gonna name him Douglas.
Sometimes you gotta suffer for love, buddy. Just buy it. Just get in there.
So truer words have never been spoken.
Put it in your bouncy castle room. And
man. Bouncy castle room filled with corgis. Yeah. Stop. You're giving me a boner. It's terrifying. Thank you, Stephen, our wonderful engineer. After I say boner, he puts the more you know. It's a great juxtaposition.
That's a good button to have on call.
Yeah. So obviously we're waiting to hear about a potential second season.
Indeed, we are.
I'd love to go around the room and just say, one thing you'd love to see happen in your ideal second season. Actually, let's start with Maya.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I think I'd love to see Sharon come back as Mickey's mom and lead some kind of therapy session for the whole group.
That'd be so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited about the prospect of Hobbs and Trevor's mom entering into some sort of weird relationship. And Hobbs trying desperately to be good.
And to be a parent.
Yeah, father figure as well. That's magic.
Oh my God! I'm just imagining like a father-son bonding trip, like a father-stepson.
They go fishing.
Yeah.
Ice fishing. No
or
big
like
deal.
his equivalent of fishing, I guess. Like maybe like I'm assuming that Trevor's a virgin, like trying to get take Trevor to go get laid, like those '70s dads that would take their sons to like a whorehouse.
Yeah, like Anthony Kiedis' dad. I think that's how he.
Is that how he lost
yeah.
it? Oh yeah.
That's what Breaking the Girl's about. If you're a fan of Blood Sugar Sex Magic, like I am.
It's a deep,
Fun
it's a deep
fact.
cut off of Blood
something
Sugar
like
Sex
this,
Magic.
yeah.
Is it? Is it a deep cut?
I guess if it's off Blood Sugar Sex Magic, it doesn't
It
count
ain't
as a
that
deep
deep.
cut. Yeah.
That was almost the end song, was like Suck My Kiss or something along those lines.
I'm really excited to see Mitchell in a relationship. You know, we played a lot with him pining and that was super fun, but you know, he's spinning his wheels a bit, and now he's going to have to face what it's like to get intimate with somebody. That'll be fun to explore.
Mitch.
Yeah. Mitchell sex scene.
I just love the way you said it,
Getting
Mitchell sex scene.
I think you're more excited for it than I am.
This thing isn't on. Okay, I'm mic'd. Okay.
What about you, Karan?
Now, Nash in a suit. Like an oversized suit, going to a meeting with a briefcase.
Kind of a David Byrne.
Yeah.
But shorts, like
But
Herringbone short.
A nice pattern.
Yeah.
A nice pinstripe.
Pinstripe, that's right.
What do you think?
I'm looking forward to having a nemesis.
Yeah.
I feel like I spent a lot of time like trying to please the Murch and like rally. I'm looking forward to like focusing my energies on a worthy opponent, and getting a little evil.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel like Trey has some aggression that he needs to work out.
I also think having a nemesis is the greatest thing for a person.
Super fun.
It really focuses your energy.
It
Defines you.
It does.
Yeah.
Not unlike a superhero.
Yeah.
You see where I'm going with this.
I follow.
yeah.
I follow.
So eventually, you get superpowers. Season 5, Eventually
We were thinking episode 3 of season 2.
Yeah.
Let's tip our cards here.
Yeah, no, you assume, you don't have that much time. You do the stories you want to tell immediately.
Yes.
Don't waste time.
Don't hold anything back.
strategy.
You don't know what's going to come.
Oh, yeah. No, he and the app become one, and he achieves transcendence, like the upcoming Johnny Depp film.
Yeah.
I love it.
He goes full singularity. It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Yeah, and then
The
the whole
writes itself. I don't even.
the whole rest of the season is just a white screen, and we just have to assume that like something's happening. I don't know what singularity looks like.
You just wrote us all out of jobs.
Thanks,
The
dude.
show writes itself. It's a white screen with no actors.
Hey man, I'm trying to achieve the highest art possible. I can't help it if there are casualties along the way. Charlie.
What Evan said, I'd like to see Mitchell in a relationship, see tread new waters.
I want to meet your parents.
Yeah, I'd like to meet my parents too. I think that'd be pretty interesting.
Really funny. Yeah.
Definitely want to see more of David Chu and Mark Lyle.
Thank you. Yeah.
I don't know. I want everyone to keep doing what they're doing.
All right. That's nice. That's Charlie.
As usual. As per usual.
What do you think, Patrick? What would you want?
4 things. I want Dane, and Dane.
Yeah.
The way he was kind of angling into a full-time position there toward the end.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited to see what his day-to-day would be over at BRB. I can't imagine. It's my nuts and my guts up on the wall. And then I think I'm angling for season 2, maybe like an AfterBuzz visit to Bardukan. I think that needs to happen.
That would be very nice.
some on-set, excitement.
We can play some Dino Battle.
Some Dino Battle.
Yeah.
Pretty much unstoppable. So
He's pretty much unstoppable. You don't even know.
Just. How are you, Matt?
Oh man, that's tough. I mean, I'd love to see it pick up some months down the road. They got the VC they needed. They're in the next stage of like running this business. And it's the Trey Barrett, Zack Casper head-to-head showdown fighting the man. I mean, I'd love to see Lisa come back and like really actually want to try something right as all of your focus needs to be in the business. I mean,
damn, dog.
Hey man,
have you ever thought about writing a TV show?
Giving it some thought.
Conflict. It's dramatic and watchable.
Yeah. I mean, personally, the thing I'm most interested in see, I want to see Nash in a relationship. Getting, you know,
big time.
You know, treading those waters, because, you know, as much as like Mitch, he kind of like he talks the talk. Now it's time to walk the walk. Nash hasn't even been talking the talk. So, you know, like,
how is he gonna be in that situation?
It's gonna
you know,
be
interesting.
You know, I mean, I want to see Michael Lau's boyfriend, you know, just, you know, take a hike.
Hit the bricks.
Because I wanted them to be together so bad. I was so sad when they didn't get to be together.
Did you get on breaking that up, Charlie? Did you break those guys up?
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
It's a good one,
Can
man.
you get on me getting on breaking those guys up?
He's already at it. I love it.
Your
He takes this seriously.
Charlie, your scenes with David Nair at the house at Michael Lau's party are so funny. So good. I love those scenes.
That was funny.
You're like, I love these guys. Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Let's see what else. I mean, I talked about what I'd love to see with Hobbs and having that day out with Trevor, and with Mikki, I want to see her continue to confront some of her issues. I love, you know, that exploration. I love the episode with your mom. Like, getting more of that would be awesome. And then also, you know, she was kind of like an adjunct, like an ad hoc member of this team, and I kind of want to see her further solidified. You know, I think that those are all.
Well, I think
goals.
there's like dynamics that haven't, like, I've never had an episode with Charlie. Yeah. Like we had a bit of one,
which was fun, but then we wanted.
But I think there's more of those like cross kind of things.
I loved
to be like,
her.
how do these two exist together? Like, or
Mikki and Nash together was
so
great.
weird to watch.
It was so weird.
It was so weird to film. It was so weird to watch. It looked like a different show to me. I was like, what am I watching? Why am I happy?
I liked it
Why
too, though. But
it was great. Yeah, it'll be cool.
We filmed that in between, couched in between episode 9, so we were just like, what? Yeah, but it was so nice.
It's a great scene.
Yeah. It was real sweet.
Yeah, more Nash and Hobbs, more Nash and Mikki. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Okay, I would now like to do a segment that we coined last week, and it is called
Rate That Review?
Reviews of Amazon shows.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Wherein we review Amazon.com reviews of betas.
Yep.
We had a great time with it over the last 2 episodes. Have you pulled one up, Josh?
Yeah, well, this one's short and sweet.
Okay.
And by sweet I mean it's horrible.
Jesus.
It's 1 star.
okay. Can you give no stars?
No. Not on Amazon.
No?
So that's but you know what? There are there are a few reviews that go, if I could give this no stars, I would.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's rude.
My favorite are the ones that start with, like, don't waste your time. But you did.
Yeah. And even more time writing
that.
So this one is if you like sexist douchebags who embrace every negative stereotype of the tech industry, this is for you. If you prefer subtlety, interesting plot, and some form of actual comedy, look elsewhere.
Are you sure that this isn't a review of Entourage?
But you know what? Let's end on something positive.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, wait a minute. Here's one by somebody named Patrick Dees.
I might have rated the show. That's how easy it is.
Interesting. 5 stars for Mr. Patrick
5
Dees.
star.
Betas is fantastic.
Whoa!
If you haven't watched Betas just yet, take a good hard look in the mirror. What are you even doing with your life?
You got personal.
Change that.
Oh shit!
It's
nice.
Yeah. So I mean,
I give that review 6 stars.
Have I told you about my mean tweets? The one that told me to kill myself.
Whoa! What?
They were like, "You think it's funny that you're making a show about like something?" It was like 4 tweets that was like continuing, but they were basically blaming our show for kicking them out of San Francisco because it's too expensive to live there because Twitter is now in San Francisco. So they were like, "You think it's funny to make fun of the tech industry setting up in San Francisco? I've lived in the city for these many years, and now I can't afford to live there."
So they can't afford to live there because of Twitter, and
but
so
their response is to use Twitter
to talk to you.
Yeah, I was like, maybe you should speak to your local government. And me.
Yeah, talk to your alderman or something.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
So then someone else was like, I know you don't know how to code. #code. I watched your fingers, something. But then it was like ... Show isn't bad though.
Gotcha.
Blocked.
Gotcha. So, nice. Joe, I know you're not on Twitter.
No.
You're not. I was just going to ask. Is that part of the reason you just don't want to deal with weird?
Yeah, because the only people who come up to me, they like the show. So
nice. Okay.
Because mean people do things from the
hide behind the anonymity
nice
of the internet.
people come up and look you in the eye. No, yeah, I guess that's one of the reasons. I was on a show years and years ago, and we had like a big online presence, and we were all quite new to being on television, so we were all like reading all the comments. Sure. And the first one I read, I was like looking for one about me. I found my character's name. I pulled it up, and all it said was, "I just hate his face." And so I was like, nope, not reading these anymore.
Yeah. Was it spelled correctly? Is the question.
Yeah. It was FASE.
Oh, yeah, right. Absolutely.
Yeah, the first internet comment I ever read about me was someone said I had a toad face.
What?
So I was like,
what was it for?
I did the show called Hung, and the subject was like recast season 2 without the toad people.
Oh my God, you were on Hung.
I was, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
This is my first rodeo, boy.
I didn't even realize that until just now. It's been a while since
He's skinnier now. He's
he's so much skinnier. Yeah, you lost some weight,
Getting
bro.
the ladies.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm just trying to think. When I was recapping Breaking Bad, people were like really, really obsessed with it, and all of the comments would be negative because you can never be good enough.
Right.
Like it's the best. Like it's the best show ever. So your comments will never be good enough. I know. Betas is a great show. It's right up there with Breaking Bad.
So it's
Yeah.
It's filed in the B's.
Yeah, it's filed in the B's. Exactly. Beta's Breaking
Green
Bad.
theme.
Yeah. It's even before Breaking Bad. And I had someone say, Matt Lieberman was the only person on this panel that I trusted, but he betrayed that trust today. Way to suck, bro.
I gotta give it memorized, man. This is rough.
It's the worst comment I've ever gotten. I mean, I've never been told to kill myself.
Yeah.
That's bad.
My favorite, though, are like the one Josh read, are the like. It's like they need to invent a passive-aggressive font. So that they, like, it's so obviously about something else. Like, take a look in the mirror, and you're like, who are you really talking to? Like, what is this really about?
Take a look in the mirror was
attack
actually
people personally for watching a show that you don't like. Who cares?
Yeah.
But I do read all the 5-star reviews as well, and I appreciate them very much, you guys.
Yeah.
And they're very nice.
Keep them coming.
My favorite is Karan's personal campaign to have everybody who wants a season 2 tweet at Roy Price and at Joe Lewis, the heads of Endicott Studios.
But you know, I feel like it's backfiring because initially Roy was like favorite, but now he hasn't been favoriting.
He just writes thanks.
He's kind of like stop. But I'm gonna keep going.
No, man, we're fighting a good fight.
Yeah.
No, that's good. I didn't know that this campaign was going, folks. What do we have their Twitter handles?
At Roy Price.
ROYPR.
You can always hit up at Amazon, at Amazon Studios. Just let them know you love the show.
All right. Yeah, fans.
At Betas. Yeah,
Instagram. Folks, if you're out there, these are the people. Talk to them. Get at them. Let them know the people will be heard. We want season 2.
Here.
Good.
All right, Patrick, do you have any other questions?
No, not questions. This has been a really cool. I feel like we just started this, and this has been an unbelievable experience. I just want to thank you guys again for coming out and representing the way you did and talk. I mean, I felt a special kinship to the show this season in a way that I haven't with television before. So pretty rad, and let's do this again next season.
Cool, man.
Yeah, bring me to Bardukin. That's all I'm asking.
Hell yeah,
gotcha.
We'll play some adventure safety.
Yellow suited man in the land of no danger.
I'll get it.
Adventure safety.
Adventure safety, man.
I think we all have different names for it.
All right. I guess we're gonna wrap up. That's so sad. I'm so glad that all of you were able to do this. I do a lot of these shows, and This has been a very, very special experience. So thank you all for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Patrick Dees, where can the people find you?
People can find me on Twitter at P2the_Ds. I also host a video game podcast. You can find it on iTunes called Pixel by Pixel.
All right, Charlie Saxton.
You can find me on Twitter at Charlie Saxton. I'm doing the thing you do. You look into the camera.
Yeah.
You can find me on Twitter at Charlie Saxton.
It's the personal connection.
Yeah.
Joe, can the people find you?
I have a private Hotmail account. But I'm walking around a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know?
Streets of LA.
Yeah.
Streets of LA, streets of sunny Canada. Look them
Not
up.
so sunny Canada.
Yeah.
Vortex.
Okay, Karan Soni.
That's my camera, right?
Yeah.
I know that.
There you go.
At It's Karan Soni.
Okay, Evan Endicott.
I am at Notorious EJE on Twitter.
It's so gangster. It's my favorite Twitter
Yeah,
handle.
I'm pretty
It's
gangster.
You are so gangster.
Yeah. Josh Stoddard.
At JPSTODD.
Okay, and Maya Erskine.
At Mana Watch Online on Instagram, not Twitter.
No
Okay.
On Twitter too, but I don't look at it.
Okay, all right, fair enough. And we appreciate honesty here.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, you can find me on Twitter at Matt Lieberman. That's MattLieberman. You can also find me here on AfterBuzz TV on a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not going to remember it all, so let me try. Almost Human, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Justified, Cougar Town, Helix on Sci-Fi. If you haven't seen it, there's time to catch up. It's only 3 weeks in. It's a really great show. Banshee on Cinemax, Sherlock for right now. We got Orphan Black coming up in the spring. Bunch of shows. And if you're in LA and you love live comedy, you can come see me at the iOS Theater on Hollywood Boulevard as a member of DJ Fawcett. Next show is February 2nd at 9 p.m. I know it's the Super Bowl, but you know, maybe you're not a sports fan, or maybe you could watch it at the bar. There's a full bar, and then come see some great comedy. Thank you guys for joining us all season long. Thank you to everybody at
Thank you,
Betas.
Matt, Patrick.
Greatest show.
Season 2, guys.
Yeah.
Season 2.
You hear us, Bezos? We will not be silenced.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Bargain!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.